Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back.
Welcome to the Heat versus the World podcast.
And
now, stand up and make some noise for your host, Joel Jacob.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Heat versus the World podcast. And yes, we are back. I got my guy Alex with me, and hopefully Kay will be joining us soon. And Heat basketball is really coming back, y'all. And honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, you probably see what's under my name. And honestly, the mission for me going into this season is very simple. I just want to be a happy Heat fan again. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. A lot of the scars, a lot of the pain that I had to deal with this squad last season, it's still there, man. Like I'm still kind of hurting a bit, and it's taking me some time. I'm trying to get some therapy under me real soon, because that what we went through last year, and it's not just the Jimmy stuff, right? But you got us losing by a Duncan Robinson to end the season. Like, we really wanted to pay tribute to Duncan because we knew that guy was leaving. So we were like, okay, Duncan, we gonna lose by 55 just for you. Like, okay, man. But overall, it's a new season, a new squad, somewhat of a new squad we looking at. And, I'm just here to hopefully have a good time. But, let's see. Alex, is there anything you want to say before we dive into this episode?
Nah, man, I'm excited. Shoot, time to get back after it. I guess I'll get to the rest of it when we start talking. So, but yeah, we back.
Any words you got, Kay?
I apologize for being on late. I hope my stuff ain't lagging. It probably is based on the way Alex is looking at the screen right now. But either way, man, I just hope this ain't a sign of things to come.
Amen. Because
right now, man.
Because listen, man, we're going into this preseason, right? And I'm not gonna lie with y'all. I did not watch much of preseason, and all I know is I saw a stat that said that apparently the last time the Heat went 0-6 in preseason was the year that we lost. Like, we only won like 15 games, and I'm not saying that's gonna happen this year, but just the interesting fact that I found online, while I was getting ready for this pod. But overall, I mean, from preseason, if y'all watched any, was there any takeaways that y'all had that you wanted to dive into? We'll start off with you, Kay.
I didn't watch a lick of preseason basketball.
Okay, so we on the same boat. Alex, you?
Norm Powell can score that ball. Norm Powell is as advertised. I've been getting into it with some people on I guess X, Twitter, or whatever, and I think that Norm Powell, especially until Tyler comes back, Norm Powell is going to lead the team in scoring. Like, Norm Powell, he can score that ball. That's right. What the preseason showed me. Jaime played pretty well. Jovic got hurt, so he played decent in the games that he was able to play. Kasparis Jakichonis in like the one or two, I think he played in one full game, got hurt in another game, but he's probably the best passer on the team. Like, he's an actual point guard. Like, he's gonna be pretty good. Maybe not this year, because we know how Spo does with actual rookies. But I mean, hey. And Andrew Wiggins looked a lot more comfortable being in Miami, so I'm excited. I'm excited.
Right, and I'll say this about Norman Powell real quick. Listen, like I said before, I've been kind of numb with the Heat lately, so not much that's happened with this team has kind of moved me, the bads or the goods. But regardless of that Norman Powell trade, in my opinion, was an A+. Like, to anyone who has any concerns about that deal, I mean, it's not like the Terry Rozier deal where it's like, okay, we gave up a first-round pick or anything. All we gave up to get this guy, a guy who some people thought had potential to be an all-star last season with the Clippers, we gave up Kevin Love and what's his name? Kyle Anderson, right?
Yeah, slow
Those,
mo.
yep, just those two guys specifically, and like, listen, much love to Kevin Love. It was a good little ride we had with him, but it seemed time to part ways with them. And slow mo is slow mo. Like, thank you for your time here. But overall, man, to have a guy like Norman Powell here, which couldn't have happened at a better time because you have this injury with Tyler going on, and until he's able to get healthy, this is a nice substitute to just put into that lineup to give us that boost on offense. Like, that right there is what's going to be good for us going into this first part of the season. And once we get Tyler back, hopefully we can figure some stuff out. But Kay, like, how do you feel about this addition? Specifically, like Norman Powell and what he could bring to this team.
Okay, cool. I like Norman Powell. I think that he was a borderline second option type guy last year for the Clippers, of course, because you couldn't depend on Kawhi on a night-to-night basis until later. I think he was one of the better scorers in the league, of course. I like the addition to the Miami Heat. I just worry about if Spo's gonna like consistently try to deploy him as the three. But
Mm-hmm.
I like the addition overall. I mean, I think that the Miami Heat can be a really good team outright. One, because you're putting everybody in a position to be able to maximize exactly what it is that they do well. I don't feel like you have a focal point and everybody has to and not that it was a bad thing in the past either, because we know, what I mean, what 22 did while he was here. So having to slide in around that is just a natural pecking order. But I think now you have a more wide open offense. Of course, they're trying to go faster. I think that all of this leans towards them being more successful this year, especially also considering the fact they don't have that thing to deal with. More successful than people might imagine them to, considering the names on the roster, is what I mean. I don't think that they'll have a problem generating offense. Like Alex said, the shot maker may be a problem, but I'm hoping that it ain't. And if that's not a problem, everything should go all right.
Right. And like, for me personally, it's like when I look at this squad, I mean, I think not a lot of people are giving this team the proper respect that they deserve, because I understand we're coming off a pretty bad season and a lot of things didn't go our way. But, and we were talking about this before the show, Alex, like, this is a squad that could potentially, win 47 something games or so. Now with Tyler's injury, maybe that could like take a slight little dip, maybe 44 games or so. Maybe, I don't know, Kay, if you view it a little differently, but for this team, I think right now the way how they stand, just if they can just go out there and just make a name for themselves and just play the way how they played before. Because listen, I have no expectations for the squad this year, but I was a fan of this squad going back to when we had guys like Luke Babbitt in the starting lineup. And you know what? They still had me believing in something. They had me believe that we can maybe make some type of noise. So I'm not saying we're exactly as bad as those types of teams that we had in the past, but shoot, if they were able to make me believe in something, then you ought to believe that, I can see something happen for the squad. And, do I see another magical finals run like 2020 or 2023? I'm not going to necessarily say no, because, I tend to get a little delusional like that and just believe in the impossible. But, overall, I just want to see the squad go out there and go above the expectations and let people know that, yeah, maybe we're not where we need to be. Maybe we still need a couple more pieces here and there, but still, like, don't let us get so and so or whatever star that might end up asking to trade, because we're just right there knocking on the door like we always are, right? And my thing is, one thing I just want to say is that, I know a lot of people, especially because Jimmy's gone, this, and that, they got their feelings and whatnot about the squad. I do believe we will be able to retool and that we'll be able to be back, because, it took some time, but after LeBron left, we picked up the pieces, made it to, we were one win away from going to the conference finals in 2016. And although it took some time, a couple years after that, we made it back to the finals once landing Jimmy, and then we did it again. So, I think right now it's just about simply putting out a statement. And whether if that comes in a championship or not, just let the NBA know that we're still not a team that y'all can just make fun of, because at the end of the day, whether if you like it when we talk about it or not, Heat culture is still a real thing. And, before we move on to this next topic, is there anything y'all want to harp on real quick, or are we good to move on? All right. So let's go on to this next topic real quick. And that's the starting lineup for this Miami Heat team, right? Because I think there's some interesting scenarios the Heat could roll with, specifically with that front court. I think we can all agree for the most part what our 1, 2, and 3 will be. You got Davion at the 1, Powell at the 2, and then Wiggins at the 3. But then you got a question about that front court, right? Because there are a lot of people that like the idea of seeing Jovic and Ware in the no, not Jovic and Ware, Jovic and Bam at the front court. But then you have the people that see the argument for Bam and Ware taking that front court. So I do want to know where y'all stand with this, because I feel like there's nothing wrong with either one of those decisions. So Alex, I want to know: are you team Bam and Ware or team Jovic and Bam?
If those three guys are starting in the back, well, basically, if we got Davion, Norm, and Wiggs on the guard and wing spots, then I am, if healthy, if he's healthy, then Jovic and Bam, because I think we're gonna need the connectivity that Jovic brings and the ability to stretch the floor, and Bam can obviously still be able to get to his shots and play out of the mid post and all that. But Bam, until he proves differently, Bam, I don't think is a good enough 3-point shooter to be able to play the 4 full time with Ware starting beside him. And obviously, I mean, Ware is kind of sort of one of these modern age stretch centers who can shoot threes, but I don't think he shoots it at a high enough clip to really warrant being able to play next to Bam, who wants to play in the mid range area. So if he's healthy, if he's healthy on day one, then Jovic got to get that starting spot.
Right. And I mean, listen, I'll say it like this. From what I think, it wouldn't surprise me right now if Jovic does start, because, assuming that he's healthy, of course, because first of all, we got rid of Precious Achua, which was kind of an intriguing move in my opinion. Simply simply because I'll say this, I mean, we don't exactly have the most stacked depth when it comes to, our centers right now, when it comes to our bigs, because aside from Bam and Ware, you then had Achua, who I thought would come off the bench if you work with that, Bam and Ware front court, to start the games off with. But since he's not there, the only other big that I can think of is hopefully I pronounced this right, Vladislav Golden, I think his name is, from Michigan. So he's on a two-way contract, and I mean, I don't think you'd count on a guy who's on a whole two-way to take on that role of being our backup big, unless he just ends up being like a Caleb Martin, where he's just able to blow you away as a blow you away while being a two-way. But even then, I mean, Caleb was just an anomaly, right? Like, you can't just bank that type of expectations in all of your two-way guys. But Kay, how about you though? What team are you on?
Here's the thing about that. I think that while you should get a lot of Nico playing with everybody, I think Nico's set up perfectly to be like a 6-man of the year type candidate. I think because Nico's skill set is so vast and he could play with everybody, I think that gives you even more of a license to go ahead and play that size. Size and skill plays. Bam doesn't hit the 3 at a high enough rate. But last year, like I have a hard time looking at last year and trying to compare that to anything, because what we all know happened. And you have a lot of people out there that want to, act like that don't exist or act like that don't affect ball players. And I just disagree. So I want to know if Bam can be a better, more consistent 3-point shooter this season. And I'm not going to give it, 35 games to try to figure that out. We're going to give you 10, 15 games, see can you knock it down, see what it's trending like. But also to Alex's point, Kel'el's a good enough 3-point shooter in my mind where you can give it that 10 games. Because, hell, he might even grow or show you that he can knock them down consistently at a 45% rate, which then give you the liberty to play them both. But this is all while I believe, like I said, Nico can perfectly be on that 6-man of the year trajectory, because what that means, he'll be playing a lot with everybody anyway.
Right. And that's the thing, because this is a good situation to be in, right? Because
totally, not a bad problem. I wanted to bring that up too, and sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to bring that up the question just wasn't framed there. This Miami Heat team pretty deep, man. When everybody get back, it's like there ain't really. It's like 8 or 9 guys that you feel good with them being on the floor, and you couldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying? In the past 3-4 years, it's like one guy. Once you get to 8, like I get Terry Rozier last year. Like once you get to 8, like you like terrified. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like good about maybe 9 guys this year, and that's all right.
Right. And I mean, I'll say this. I don't know what to expect from Terry Rozier. I mean, I think that's kind of like in the dump at this point because I think he literally didn't play preseason hoops until like the last game. So if you can't get preseason minutes, I don't know what you can get at that point. I mean,
he made 2 layups.
You know what? That's something, right? Like, like we
must have had over 1.5 shots made.
Hey man, listen, you know what? That's cool too, bro. Just be positive, be optimistic. Keep on doing that, bro. Because one way or another, you're gonna be off the team.
I'm messing with you, Terry. Shout out to you, man. I hope you beat the rap, man.
I hope so too, because bro, I don't know what's causing all this chaos, bro, but it's stressing me out, dog. Because we got people making fun of us for giving up a first-round pick for them, and it's not good for my.
We should be. We were fools to think that we could take anything from the Charlotte Hornets and turn it into a winning piece. We were fools, and we deserved it. It's nothing against Terry Rozier in this moment. I mean, now a little bit because we've had to watch and endure his play, which I haven't liked. Again, nothing against Terry the person. Don't know him. I'm sure he's a wonderful dude that likes to gamble, so I'm sure he's my kind of guy. But with that being said, I mean, it's just like thinking you're gonna like get something from the Charlotte Hornets in the year of our Lord and our Savior that is 20 and 25 and turn it into a winning piece and to give up a first round pick to do it, they should laugh at us. We're stupid.
And on top of that, Kyle Lowry was on an expiring contract, so
we're stupid. Exactly. We're stupid, Alex. We're dumb.
We're not that team anymore.
That we used to be those people.
And I mean, I will say this real quick because, we're talking about trades and whatnot, right? Like, all I will say is that going into this thing, because, I think we kind of were able to put a bow on this whole situation with the Heat. One thing that I did want to bring up before going into, our season expectations and what we think this team can pan out to be, I did want to just throw out this quick question that came into my mind. And it was something about, something that I saw in a tweet that kind of went viral. And it was something about what the Heat reported about getting ready for 2027, the off season, and that apparently they could try and get a guy like Giannis. I see the way how Alex looked the second I framed that question. I just knew. But no, seriously, like they talking about wait until 2027 for Giannis or whoever or is going to be a free agent by then. And I have an opinion on this, but I'm just going to leave out the question if any of y'all want to answer, either you, Kay, or either you, Alex, whoever wants to go first. How y'all feel about this? Because I am a little skeptical about that. And I have a reason for this. I just want to know where y'all stand real quick.
Go ahead, Kay.
And y'all should know this. I don't look at hoops and like free agency and transactions the same way that most people do. Hell, this year, next year, the year after, whenever you can get one, go get one. I don't care. Let's try to be the best we can be. So it's like to say, like in my mind, with them saying we're positioning ourselves for 27, that don't mean that they're gonna go out there and actively suck this year. They're gonna try to win as many games as they can. So when I hear stuff like that, for me, it's just like it's some good stuff to write a story out of, good clickbait. But I mean, hell. They're going to try to position themselves to get a big free agent in 2027 because there ain't one out there to get right now. What are we talking about?
Right. Hey, Alex, you had something you want to say?
I honestly, I agree with Kay. Like, I'm of the mindset of if we don't have to wait until 27, then don't wait and get to wherever we can get to as fast as possible. Because, I mean, over this last generation of guys, no one really, like, other than when I guess the last real free agency boom,
LeBron or KD ain't really out there, bro. Say it.
Yeah, I mean that's
the last boom was when Kyrie and KD went to Brooklyn, and now they talking about, oh, at 27, Giannis could be a free agent. Potentially Jokic could be a free agent. Like, I'm like, all right, like now we hoping and praying. And it's like, yo, if we have an opportunity where it's right there in front of our faces to just get something done before we have to just hope and pray, then get that done and take care of it. But if not, then hey, I'm gonna be out here posting the dang freaking jersey swaps with Giannis and Jokic until they resign or ask for a trade somewhere else. I'm gonna be posting and saying we got a chance. So I'm in it for the long
Yeah,
haul.
I mean, and to that point, I think that look, man, we all know what's happening in Milwaukee. Giannis is positioning himself and posturing himself so that he don't look like the bad guy when he leaves out of Milwaukee. But I don't think that the Joker is actually ever going to leave Denver. I'm gonna just keep it a bean with you right there. I don't think he's ever leaving Denver. But Milwaukee, Milwaukee, that situation, oh boy, gone. He gone. He just don't want to look like the bad person. And I mean, here's the thing. Here's the, $250 elephant in the room. And maybe we was gonna get there. Am I stepping on your toes, Joe?
Nah, well, I don't really know what you're about to refer to, so I don't think you will.
Okay. Here's the thing about it. When you go to talk about transactions and you're talking about today on the date it is October 20th, at 11:59 p.m., there comes this little thing called a deadline for Tyler Hero on his extension. If he don't sign it, man, you gotta trade him. Because as he said, the price gonna go up. I don't believe he gonna play no worse than he played last year. And in fact, seeing the brother and what he's done in the weight room, he probably gonna play better. And the price gonna go up, rightfully or wrongfully. But that's the going rate. Christian Braun just got 5 years, 125 million. Dyson Daniels just got 4 years, 100 million. Yes, those are rookie extensions. But what I'm trying to tell you is if those dudes are worth $25 million a year, it is not nuts for Tyler to walk up to you and say, hey, man, I'm worth at least 45.
Right.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's not nuts. I'm not saying I or my team or we can pay it. I'm saying it's not nuts when you think about what the going rate is in this NBA for what guys are doing to get that money. And that's the elephant in the room when it comes to a trade. So what's going to happen there? Because he's the piece. If they're going to move some, let's be honest, it's going to be him. And I just have a hard time seeing them sign him for more than $250 million after this year when they won't willing to, give him that, that bag before this deadline. Unless something happened in the next 4 hours, 5 hours, which it could.
I mean, I'll say this, like right now, I think with the NBA is that, and y'all mentioned it, there's no KD, there's no LeBron pulling up. Like, that's just the state of where we are with free agency. You're not getting a superstar. I mean, I just don't think you'll just see a superstar, just be a free agent anymore. I mean, last year we saw PG go to Philly, and that was an interesting move because that was the first time since that 2019 offseason where a player that was coming off of an all-star season ended up changing teams as a free agent. In other words, it took 5 years just to see something like that take place because no all-star left their team in 2020. 2021, Kyle and DeMar went to their teams, but they weren't coming off of all-star seasons. And the same can be said for the 2 years that followed after that. So, like, when it comes to all this talk you hear, all I just want is Miami to just, get that, just, maybe put some stuff into, the trunk for the one time, just so that we're not necessarily out the question when it comes to time to make a trade for a superstar. Because listen, whether if it's a guy like Giannis or whoever, I want us to be in the discussion. I don't want to hear we don't necessarily have too much to offer. It's like it's unrealistic or whatever. I want to know that we got a chance to get a guy like him. And, it's unfortunate for Milwaukee, even though I did pray for all this and I knew it was going to happen because listen, like I made sure that was happening the second that trade with Dame happened. So, like, to all the Bucks fans hearing this, I don't care about none of y'all. Enjoy every one of it because y'all gonna rot real bad. And I knew this was gonna happen a long time ago because I made sure it was gonna happen. But that none this ain't a Bucks pod, so we gonna talk about them. But overall, whether if it's gonna be Giannis
I made sure it was gonna happen. It's crazy.
Listen, It's going to happen because, like I said, listen, I don't want to keep going off a tangent, but it's going to happen, and y'all will see it, Bucks fans. Trust me. I made sure to put in a good word for y'all. But as I was saying though, like whether if it's Giannis or whoever ends up requesting a trade, I know some people throw out the name of a Trey Young or whoever, whatever that name is. Like I just want to make sure we have the assets to make it happen because they talk about like the folks they're like they're the bridesmaid but they never the bride, right? I feel like we kind of in that same scenario with the Heat, where it's like, yeah, we're always one of the names that are like interested in the player, but we're never actually the team that
That
player
gets
ends
the
up.
player, right?
Yeah, so because of that, like I just want to overcome that, because we missed out on KD this past off season. I know Alex still hurting about that, but like the thing for me was that, you know, it's like I don't know, that Dame trade broke me so bad that I don't even care, bro. Like I saw that and I literally shrugged it off. Like that's where I stand, even in the good trades. Because like I said before, I love the Norman Powell trade. I think that was an A+ move, but I wasn't like jumping up and down or anything. And I still think that was a really good trade. Like I just didn't have any emotion to that. So I just, whether if a trade happens or not, I just want us to like, I just want to believe that this team can, get a superstar again real soon and go back to doing what we can do. And that's being the bad guys. And that's wreaking havoc on this league. And, hopefully win a championship real soon, because I made a tweet sometime after Jimmy came here saying that I would delete my account if my Twitter account if we didn't win a championship this decade, and time is running out. So I need Miami to like pull through for the one time. But is there anything y'all want to say before we wrap this topic up? All right, so let's see. I want to get into this final topic real quick, and that's about the Heat and where we stand going into this season. Because obviously, there's a lot of things to look out for, whether if it's Tyler's injury and then the overall health for the squad. So I do want to know, like, what record do y'all think the Heat finished the season with, and if you see them going to the playoffs, exactly how far you think they can go? We'll start off with you, Kay.
I think this team go 46 and 36.
Okay.
I think they have some moments where they just figuring it out. I don't want to go crazy and say they could win 50 games, but I could see it because, and that's what I want to say. I think this team could figure some things out because I think they have like they can score. They should be able to score, bro. And the Miami Heat gonna play defense,
Right.
but I do think there is something to the East being a little weaker. Which again, this has nothing to do with how good I think this team can be or not. But I think they're definitely going to the playoffs. Do they got a chance to win the East? You can't say that right now. You can't say that with a straight face when you look at teams like Orlando, Cleveland. Even though I don't believe in them, you know what I mean, stuff like that. But nah, they I don't think they're in the play-in like a lot of people think.
Right. And I mean, I'll say this, like, there's a lot of injuries to look at too. Like, it's kind of crazy to think about because the team that made the finals last year, they're banged up right now. The team that made the finals the previous year is banged up as well. So that's why we can't even mention teams like Boston and Indiana. And, you mentioned Cleveland, Kay, and it's like, the team that literally whooped us last year, the team that had the #1 seed last year, we can't even take them seriously because that's how they are. That's how it is right now in this Eastern Conference. Like a lot of things is up for grabs, and while we can't necessarily say that the Heat are just going to go back to the finals, I mean, shoot, you never know what's going to play out in the Eastern Conference as unpredictable as ours. And I just thank God every day that we're not in the West, because that is a bloodbath over there. Like you never know what is going to happen on that other end with the way how there's just so many teams that just like I don't even like it's such a dogfight just to simply make it to the playoffs for some of those squads, because so much of those teams always end up getting tied for like the same record late into the season, right? Meanwhile, over here on the East, we were already a weak conference, but then like we mentioned, the injuries and stuff. So overall, man, like you can't really rule anything out for the Heat because we're in such a weak conference like this one. And I mean, Alex, what about you? Like you still standing with your prediction you mentioned before the show?
So I just did a little bit of digging off here on my laptop. The ESPN, I guess they did an article the 14th. I guess that was
39 wins.
nah.
Mm.
ESPN's final standing that I'm looking at This has us AFC 42-40. Um, my hope is to be out of the play-in because I feel like if we're in the play-in, then we just need to tank. We just need to, hey, bam, take care of your knee for 4 months. Hey, give the ball to Yakachonis and let him do whatever the heck he gonna do. Hey, Nico, let's see how many threes you can make every single game, but you got to shoot at least 12 of them. Like I'm throwing the towel in. Like go for AJ DeBanson. Like go get one of these young cats, Nate, Darren Peterson. Go get somebody. But if things start going, like we have to start off well, and if things start well, then there is an opportunity, I think, for this team to be out of the play-in and be in the top six. So that's my goal. Either be in the top six, and if you ain't in the top six, go to the bottom. But it's still with how the Heat are, it's gonna be tough as I don't know what for them to even get to the bottom. So that's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is there anything you want to add?
I agree with Alex. I mean, it's the thing about it is because of you look at the East and because we know how the Heat are and it's Coach Spo, it's not easy to get to the bottom either. So it's like hell. You'll suck all year, still won't get a top 3 pick, and then just be mad as hell.
Right. Like, I'll say this, man, and then we'll wrap it up here. For me, it's like I'm kind of in the same boat because, to be honest with you, I'm trying to leave here with something. All right, like to leave it as simple as that. Whether
Right.
if we get a top 3 pick or we end up, going to the playoffs, maybe have somewhat of a deep run, you name it, bro. But I'm leaving here with something. If we're gonna lose in a way where I can at least smile with something. Or if we're going to end up, going to the playoffs and whatnot, that's fine. But I need something to work with because I got some agendas to run. So either we're doing the final part of the season, and I'm talking about how the Heat are going to be back next year because they had a crazy playoff run, or I'm going to be sitting here talking to y'all how AJ DeBansta is about to run circles around the NBA as a member of the Miami Heat. Okay, but I will be leaving here with something. I hope every one of y'all get that clear, okay? I'm not going with that in the middle type stuff. And shout outs to Goran, man, because we got Alex rocking the jersey. Listen, bro. And listen, speaking of Dragic, Jokic could be a free agent in 2027, right? It might not be possible that dude leaves Denver, but shoot, he got the plug. So
It's not happening.
I'm not saying it will, but
It's not
listen,
happening.
right?
We can pray about it.
Yeah. Listen, man. I mean, look at it. I put in a good word for Milwaukee. I just got put in a really good word with Denver, and
A
with
hell
God
of a
about
word, brother.
listen, y'all never know what God can do. All right, He be working miracles. We just got to take
Every
time to
day.
acknowledge Him. So because like I said, I made sure we was getting justice one way or another, and we're here. Okay, so overall, man, I just gotta say, before we wrap it up, is there anything else y'all want to say real quick to the fans before we call it an episode? We feel good.
Oh, I thought Kay was gonna say something, but hey, man, we back. Like I said at the beginning, we back, and I think we're gonna find out real fast what type of Heat season it's gonna be. I think we'll know after the first 15 to 20 games. We should know exactly where we stand. We'll see
I
that.
I believe too. You know. And let's see, Kay, are you trying to say something? It's a little difficult because,
No, I'm not, and that's what I'm saying. Like my screen's so choppy, I've been trying to just say what I need to say and stop. So nah, man, y'all got it.
bad. And overall, man, we hope y'all liked today's episode of Heat versus the World. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to follow Kay on Twitter at K_said_K. Alex on Twitter at _Coach Lewis1. Me on Twitter at Joel K Jacob _. And follow Heat versus the World on all platforms at HVTW Podcast. We're back and we're going to be doing this full time. I promise. I know I said the same thing last year, but I didn't expect to be traumatized as bad as I was during that season. So y'all got to forgive me for that. And we're going to have fun this year. All right. We're going to have a good time talking about the Heat, and we're going to enjoy it because God don't let us suffer for no reason, right? He got a reason for putting us through the trials and tribulations. So we're going to enjoy this season. Miami is either getting the #1 pick in the draft, or, we're going to go have a nice little playoff run, and we're going to go from there because we're the Miami Heat. So enjoy a fun, long season of us covering this team, and, we're just going to enjoy the ride, goods and the bads. Amen? All right. So because of that, there we go. So with that being said, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Heat versus the World podcast. And we'll see you guys next time with a brand new episode. Hit my music because we out.
behind my back.
Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time with a brand new episode of the Heat versus the World podcast.